Hey guys, it's Sarah here. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about a brand new product from NYX. It is their new Total Control Foundation. So I'm going to be showing you guys my first impressions, how it applies, and I'm going to be showing you guys two different ways that you can use this product. So if you guys would like to hear all of that, then go ahead and keep on watching this video. So if you guys watch my channel a lot, you know I love doing product reviews. I love finding new things, I love trying new stuff, and I also like to try out a lot of drugstore alternatives. So if you guys can't afford to spend all that money all the time on all these high-end products, there are some good drugstore alternatives. So when I saw the NYX Total Control Foundation, I grabbed it immediately. I jumped right on it because I have seen some other companies do this form of a foundation. I was very intrigued by this because I've seen a lot of higher-end companies come out with these, like Cover FX had the custom cover drops. So it's a really interesting concept, and when I saw NYX came out with one, I was like, oh, they're so smart because no drugstore brands have this type of product yet, and it's something that has become really popular in some high-end companies. So the product comes in this little glass dropper bottle. It is very liquidy, and when you squeeze the top, it comes out in single drop form. So it's very easy to control, pretty easy to use. It is very thin, obviously, in consistency. So for myself, I found the best way to apply was to put it onto my hand and then onto my face, depending if I was using a beauty blender or a brush. You will see both ways in this video. I did pick up the brush that NYX launched along with the foundation because I wanted to try out the product exactly as the company created it and intended it to be used. So I did use this Slanted NYX stippling brush. I will say it is a pretty high quality brush. It was around $13, which is not bad for a decent quality brush. It has kind of a little dip in here, which is neat, which kind of reminds me of the Bare Minerals Bare Skin Brush, which you actually apply the foundation, which is a serum foundation similar to this consistency. But from Bare Minerals, they want you to apply it directly into the brush and then apply it onto the face. I tried that when I first got it and found that this brush is not designed for that kind of application. It really just soaked up the product, and I ended using 2 to 3 times as many drops to apply. So I completely did not do that in this video because I will just say right now, I do not advise that you apply this directly to this brush. You will waste a lot and you're not going to get as thorough of an application. With that being said, when I applied the drops to my hand and then applied them to my face using the brush, I did really like that application. The stippling motion really does give some added coverage. It really presses it into the skin rather than just buffing it around. So it does give you a little bit of extra coverage. Since this is a buildable coverage product, you want to use a brush with dense packed bristles like this because it is going to apply the product more densely to your face and really give you that full maximum coverage that you can achieve. So the box kind of gives you a gauge for what kind of coverage you're looking for. It says 2+ drops will give you light coverage, 3+ drops will give you medium, and then 4+ will give you full coverage. As you will see in the video, depending on the application, I didn't really follow that guide at all. When I did it on its own, it took me about 6 drops to do my whole face with what I considered to be full coverage. Using the product on its own by itself, I applied it with the brush, I stippled it onto my face. You will see in the demo, it's very lightweight, it doesn't feel like you're putting anything on, and it does give pretty good buildable coverage. So I was really impressed with the application of this product altogether when I first applied it. It wore well throughout the day. It did stay true to that matte finish. I didn't really get very shiny. It didn't really break up too much on my face. Was it a game changer? It's a good alternative for a drugstore foundation. I will say that. I don't hate it. I will definitely use it again. It wasn't anything that was like changing my world or rocking my world or anything like that. It's a good foundation. It's decent. It's good. I like it. It's not like I'm going to stop using everything else and only use this. Definitely not. But it is a good foundation from NYX. I haven't really been a fan of many other foundations that have come out from NYX, I'm not going to lie. So far, this is my favorite foundation that NYX has ever come out with. Am I going to go shout it from the rooftops that everybody needs to go buy this immediately? No, but if you want to try it, you're definitely going to like it. It wears well, it's lightweight, it's really good for probably people that don't like to feel like they have a lot of makeup on. So for that use, this is a really good product. I think it was about $14, so it's still higher end of drugstore pricing, but it is a good product. Obviously, there's a lot in this bottle, and you're not going to use a lot with each application, so it should last you for a pretty long time as well. But you will see in the demo, I decided to also try this product out similar to how a lot of people do with the Cover FX drops, how you can use it as an additive into your foundations to give it added coverage, to alter the finish or the texture of it, and I will say I was absolutely floored with how well this worked as a mix into another foundation. One of my favorite everyday foundations is the Fiona Styles Matte Foundation. I reach for this almost every day when I'm like just getting an everyday look or just grabbing something really quick. I love this foundation. I love the wear and the finish of it. It's a medium to full coverage. Now you will see in the demo, I added about 3 drops of the NYX Total Coverage Foundation to this foundation. Then I mixed them together on my hand with a beauty blender and applied it directly to my face because I like this foundation applied with a beauty blender versus a brush. The formula of these Total Cover Drops mixed with that foundation flawlessly. And when I say flawlessly, like you will see in the video, it looked amazing going on my skin. It thinned out the matte foundation a little bit and made it a little easier to spread and blend, but it did not sacrifice zero coverage. Like it boosted the coverage of it while also making it more lightweight, which seems very impossible, but it totally did it. It made my foundation easier to spread, easier to blend. It felt more lightweight. It initially went on with like a dewier look to it, but then it set to a complete and total matte finish. So it stayed on all day. I put it on at about 9:30 in the morning. I didn't take it off until I got home from a date at like 1 a.m. and it was still perfect. I had not powdered it. Like it stayed to a true matte the entire day and gave me an extremely long wear. So I can say I absolutely love this mixed into my foundation. It's what I have on right now. It gives me a truer full coverage. I can't say enough about how much I love this mixed in with that foundation. The color range of this is not huge unless there's a larger color range coming out or on the website that I hadn't really looked into yet. My Ulta had like 6 shades and that was it. I ended up being the shade 07, which is natural, which was the 4th color out of the 6, which if you look at a span of 6 colors and you go for the 4th, that seems really dark. And I was a little worried, like, oh my gosh, should I really be getting the 4th of the 6th in the color range? Like, I'm not tan, clearly, so I was a little worried. But what that does mean is the lighter range shades in this shade range are very, very good for people with very fair complexions. I know some people that are very fair struggle to find a foundation that doesn't look orange or yellow or pink on their skin because they are so ivory complected or alabaster skin toned. There are a lot of very fair ranges in this. So if you are very fair, you will absolutely be able to match into something in this color range. Another way that you could totally use this now that I've seen how it mixed into foundations, I'm a total advocate for it, is that this would be a great product to use when you're transitioning from summer and winter months. If your foundation is too light, if your foundation is too dark, you could add a few drops of this to either deepen or lighten your foundation to kind of help you in that transition point when you're between shades or changing shades, or if you use self-tanner or if you're losing a tan. This would be a great, great, great product to mix in to kind of adjust the color of your foundation so you don't have to go buy a new one. And just seeing how it mixed into that one, I can promise you that it will not change the wear of your foundation. It's going to enhance it. Like, you are just going to completely love it. So next you guys are going to see those talk through applications of the foundation in those 2 ways. You're going to see it by itself and then as a mix-in. So I will let you guys go ahead and watch that right now. Okay, so the first application I wanted to do was just the foundation by itself. I already primed my face with a cocktail primer. If you guys watch my things, you know I like to do cocktails of my primers. So I did some Smashbox Photo Finish Primer with Benefits Professional and Matte Rescue mixed together. I'm not going to mist my face with a moisturizing spray prior to putting this on like I usually do, just because I kind of want to get the full effect of this and see how it really goes on without that added moisture barrier. I'm going to go ahead and start with 3 drops, and then I'm sure I may need more because if this is for medium coverage on your full face, I feel like that's not going to be enough. Like, I feel like, ooh, okay, it's really liquidy. Let's just jump in and start stippling. So it's definitely giving good coverage, for sure. I've almost used all of those 3 drops, and I've only covered pretty much a quarter of my face, so I feel like I'm gonna need a little bit more. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a few more drops. 1, 2, 3. So far I've used 6 drops, so let's see if we can get my whole face done with this. It's very weightless. It literally feels like I'm not putting anything on my face, which is kind of deceiving for something that's supposed to be buildable to full coverage. I'm not mad about it though. That's kind of cool that it's not so heavy and cakey. Okay, so we've done 6 drops and I feel like I've just gotten my whole face covered. I'm gonna go add just a few more to my hand. I like to go over some areas for a fuller coverage. It's supposed to be a matte finish, but with the application, it looks a little bit dewier at first, but I can see that now it's kind of setting a little bit to a more matte finish. But I'm just gonna add a little bit more where I like extra coverage. I'm really intrigued to see how this wears because I am shocked at how light this feels and how much coverage it's actually given me already. So I ended up using a total of 8 drops to cover my entire face with full coverage. It's weightless. It blends pretty easily. I don't feel like I have makeup on, which is really cool. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my face though so you guys can get an idea of what a full face looks like with this completely applied. Okay, so full face using the NYX Total Control drops. I don't hate it. It's very lightweight. I can see the matte finish. The only thing I kind of noticed is I felt like it was a bit grabby with my concealer when I was concealing. I felt like it was a little bit more difficult to blend and it was kind of like gripping and holding it right where I put it. So it kind of affected the blendability of other products being layered on top of it. Other than that though, I'm really intrigued to see how this is gonna wear today throughout the day. I love the lightweight feel of it. Like it literally feels like you're putting nothing on your skin. So I'm really excited to see how this is going to wear. So this is the Total Control by itself. And then the next application you guys are gonna see with this product is I really wanna see how it works as far as a additive into other foundations that you already have. I wanna try these out like this next to show you guys, just to give you another option of how to use these. So next year is going to see these used as an additive in other foundations to see how that goes as well. So for the second application I want to show you with the NYX Total Control drops, I want to use these as the additive into another foundation. Kind of how a lot of people do with the Cover FX custom cover drops. I will be adding these into one of my favorite everyday foundations. This is the Fiona Styles Matte Foundation. You can get this at Ulta. I wear this pretty much almost every day if I'm just grabbing for like a regular everyday foundation. I absolutely love this. It is medium to full coverage, so I'm hoping that by adding a couple drops of this, that it will just kind of boost my coverage a little bit and just kind of, I don't know, I guess we'll see. I usually want to go over some parts of my face a second time when I use this just for added coverage. So I'm hoping that maybe by adding these that could forego that step. And so I will just go ahead and show you guys so you can see along with me how this is going to work. Now I did the same primer cocktail on my I did the same primer cocktail on my face, and then I am going to use my Ultra Radiance Mist from Benefit, just because that's what I like to do under this foundation normally, so I'm going to go ahead and do that the same. I usually do like a pump and a half of this to do my whole face, so I'm going to I'll start with a pump. Let's see how that goes, if this kind of fills it enough that I don't need a full pump and a half, and then I'm going to add 2 drops. Now, instead of using a brush with this, I am going to use my Beauty Blender because I find that I like the Fiona Styles foundation a little bit better with a Beauty Blender. So let's just start applying this everywhere and see how it goes on. It's definitely covering more area. It definitely thinned out the consistency of the foundation a little bit. But I kind of like it because normally with this one, I feel like it's a little bit thicker so it doesn't spread as easily, but it definitely changed the spreadability of it a little bit, and I think it did honestly boost the coverage. I need just a tiny bit more for my forehead, so I'm going to do just a baby pump and 1 drop. But I definitely feel like this is adding a little bit of coverage because my nose definitely has coverage over my freckles more so than it does when I use the Fiona Styles by itself. That's where I get a lot of my discoloration, dark spots, and freckles. So that's normally where, okay, this looks really good. Okay, I'm super pleased with how this went on. It still has a little bit of that dewy finish right now, so I'm hoping once it sets all the way, it'll go completely matte. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face though, so you guys can see how this looks with a full face finished. Okay, so this added as an additive into another foundation. I am so impressed. Oh my gosh. It definitely added a little bit more coverage to my Fiona Styles foundation. Definitely made it a little bit more matte than the foundation normally sets to, which I am not upset about. I definitely feel like this is going to stay on my face all day. I'm gonna wear this all day, see how it goes. But initially, the application of this, it made the matte foundation actually go on a little bit easier. It had a little more spreadability, but it did not sacrifice any of the coverage at all. It actually boosted the coverage and gave it fuller coverage. I'm really impressed with this as an additive. I will say, out of the 2 ways to wear it so far, I'm really preferring it this way. I will definitely be using it again to do this. I am so impressed with how well this mixed and how well this turned out looking on the skin. So I'm gonna wear this all day, let you guys know all about how it wore, all the info, and all that stuff next. So overall, I'm extremely impressed with this product. I absolutely love it. Like I said, I'll definitely be using it as a mix into other foundations. I'll probably wear it on its own on a day when I just want to do something quick and light and don't feel like using a higher end foundation just for like running errands. It's a great product. Definitely get it. I picked this one up at Ulta. They also had the brush at my Ulta too. So if you want to try these together, they are awesome products. This brush is a high quality brush just to have in your collection as in general for a little bit less than some higher end brands. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel so you do not miss anything else. Leave me some comments down below with what you thought or if you are trying this foundation. But until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.